What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 88 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I am Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
We had our invitational, and it went off without a hitch.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
very happy.
That's all I can say. Just like, everything went as smoothly as possible every day.
Yep.
Like, I think we had one DC all weekend among, like, all the matches played.
Yep.
And it was in team preview. So, like, literally could not have gone any better all weekend.
Could not have asked for a better event. We did have to scramble at the very start before we started trying to get our a replacement player. Tanner ended up not being able to play because they were taking their SAT, if I remember correctly. That's what I was told. I hope they did well in their SAT, obviously.
Same. That is way more important than a Pokemon tournament.
Than the chance at $100 or $150 or whatever it was. Much more important than that. But, yeah. We ended up getting Swede to play.
Swede happened to be awake still, happened to be up and around.
Like, he just got home. It worked out. It's just like, cool. You're playing
Threw
now.
together a team. I think the team he ended up playing, like, as he said, yeah, let me throw something together, I just named off, like, 6 mods that were very Swede. And I think I got, like, four or five of them correct. So, like, honestly, pretty good job on my part.
Yep, good picking there. When we get into these the usage stats for all this stuff, I'm excited to talk about some of these Pokemon because we haven't seen or talked about these Pokemon in, like, months.
For sure.
At this point. So it'll be interesting to go back and look at them and see how well they did in this closed team sheet event in best of 3. Just trying to think of, like, getting prepped for the IRL events to come out in 3 months down the road from now.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be good. It's good data to look at this kind of stuff because that's what those formats are. They are closed team sheet for the most part. Unless you come with a bunch of people and are going around, wandering around and checking out teams as the games are being played, you're not going to have information on your round 3 opponent or your round 4 opponent trying to get into day 2 and whatnot. But before we get into all of that, we did have our charity raffle as well alongside the invitational.
Huge shout outs to Aaron for putting it all together for us.
Yeah.
And again, that went over about as smoothly as possible too. I personally want to thank everyone for donating. Raised a total of just under $350.
Yep.
I believe the grand total was $335. So like that in and of itself is awesome. Really cannot thank everyone enough for donating, and special thanks to everyone who donated Pokemon and everything as well. We have Poor Poke, who donated the Mew and one of the Zygarde sets.
Zarude.
Oh yeah, Zarude, I'm sorry. We had Papa Swish, who not only played in the event, but also donated the Shiny Tapus and the Magearna. I threw together the Celebi and Arceus. Penguin threw out the Shiny Doggos and the Keldeo. Angelo put out his Shiny Palkia Dialga. And then Aaron threw out another set of the Celebi and Zarude as well. So, huge shout outs to everyone for donating. All the winners have already been contacted. If you have one, please reach out to Aaron. He's the one who has everything available. I won the dogs and the Dialga Palkia, which were like the 2 sets I really wanted to win. Everything else I entered is just like, sure, whatever. I don't really care if I win. Cool. But I won the 2 I really wanted to. And I know you said you really wanted to win the Tapus and you got those as well. So like,
yeah,
big wins for us.
Yeah. I ended up putting like $40 in just donating. The first 20 went to the Tapus, and then I threw another 20 because I wanted to hit that at least that 300 mark, and then we had some late donations to get us up above 300 anyway, so it worked out.
I think I put in I think I entered 5 of them, and I put in $5 on each. So I'm like, if I win, cool. If not, whatever. I threw money at charity.
Yeah,
Like that was my thought process behind it.
Exactly,
So.
it's all for charity. That's what's great.
Exactly. So.
But yeah, you ready to get into some usage stats here?
For sure, man. First off, huge shout outs to Mocha for not only winning the entire event, but going undefeated and doing so, man.
Yeah, so that's the way double elimination usually works, is it's like someone's going to be undefeated all the way through to the end, and then it's a bracket reset if they lose, so they get another shot at it and whatnot. So Mocha he got the easiest run of the day. He just went through all the way through winners to winners grand final. Ended up meeting Alex 123 at the winners final, sent Alex back to the losers bracket. Alex ended up getting out of the losers bracket to go back up and do a rematch, and ended up losing
the grand finals.
Grand finals. Yeah.
So looking at some actual uses stats here before we get super deep into the teams, everything. Honestly, I'm not really surprised by a bunch of these. When we get to the unique mons, there are definitely some that I'm just like, that's a choice. So, the most used mon, 9 out of 16 teams, so just over half, Grimmsnarl.
Yep.
Thoughts on Grimmsnarl?
I'm not surprised. I actually kind of expected this. I
genuinely am not either.
Mainly due to the fact that I knew there was going to be a ton of Venusaur most likely in this event because Sun is very powerful right now. Grimmsnarl pairs well with Sun and against Sun all at the same time. Having access to Scary Face, Thunder Wave, screens, lagging tail, trick shenanigans, whatever you want to do with it. So Grimmsnarl is probably going to be either is or will be the most played Pokemon in Series 11. I feel like it's just really good on a whole bunch of teams.
Yeah, I literally can't argue anything you just said. Grimmsnarl is really good. Prankster Thunderwave is really absurd.
Yep.
Tricking either Lagging Tail and or Eject Button is really good. Being able to set screens and have Light Clay to extend that out is also really good. So there's a lot of things working for Grimmsnarl that just make it absurd.
Yep.
And the return of Dynamax, I think, is one of the biggest indications that Grimmsnarl is going to be good again.
Yep.
It's weird that it wasn't nearly as good in non-Dynamax formats, but at the same time, when you have base 130, 150 moves coming at you, setting screens can be really useful. So
the thing with between Series 10 and Series 11 and whatnot, it's yes, Dynamax is a big thing and it really screens benefit you a lot. Also, the games on Series 10 just didn't last long enough. They didn't. They either lasted way too long and your screens ended up not mattering because they wore off, or the games were too short, so you wasted time setting up a screen instead of dealing damage, and then you just got O-code anyway.
Yep.
So it was just not a format meant for Grimmsnarl on screens like that, whereas with Dynamax, the games are a little bit more affected by having Reflect and Light Screen up and things like that. That's why we saw Lapras so much in early Series 8, Lapdog, because it sets up Aurora Veil and hits like a truck. You get to do everything that you want to do while still being able to play that screens game.
Speaking of Lapras, there's not a single Lapras.
Yeah, this is more, I think, due to the fact that just Sun is so good, Venusaur is so popular. Playing Lapras into Sun is just a big feel bad most of the time.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great.
We did get a Blastoise, though.
Yeah, we did, which is super cool.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Another one that is extremely popular, of course, is Venu Cole. Not really surprised to see it do well this weekend. What's really interesting here is there's 8 Venusaurs and 7 Torkoals.
Yeah.
And I believe the one that isn't playing with Torkoal is Evan. I believe Evan said he decided to play Venusaur without a Sunsetter at all.
Yeah. I believe that is correct. Let me double check here. If I can find Evan's team really, really fast.
Oh, where is it?
Yeah, his is the one Venusaur that doesn't have a Torkoal.
I'm actually really excited to talk about Evan's team. It looks super cool.
But with the numbers, I think there's a Torkoal without a Venusaur.
Yeah, that would be Evans.
No, a Torkoal. Not a Venusaur without a Torkoal. A Torkoal without a Venusaur.
Wouldn't that be 2 Venus without a Torkoal then? Wouldn't that be how that works too?
I'm going through it. I'm counting Venusaurs right now. 1, 2.
I'm going
3,
through and looking for Torkoals.
4, 5. 6. I found it.
There is.
Yeah, I found it. Okay, cool. We'll talk about that team also here in a little bit. It was one of the lower ranked teams, but it was just like, there has to be a Torkoal without a Venusaur then, because there's a Groudon over here that has to be paired with Venusaur. I know that one was paired with Venusaur.
Yeah. So there's actually 2 Venus without a Torkoal.
Yeah.
But only 1 without a Sunsetter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Correct.
Okay. Found it.
So that's kind of
Nailed
cool.
it.
That's kind of cool. Is like there was a Sun team without Venusaur as its big damage dealer, which is kind of interesting.
So rattling off, so we had 8 Venusaurs, 7 Torkoals. We also had 7 Zacian, Landorus Therian, and 7 Incineroars to round out that. Again, not really surprised by any of these numbers. These mons were all really good in Series 8. Most of them were very good in Series 10 as well.
Yep.
I blanked real hard there for a second.
Had to think about what series number we were on, huh?
Yep.
Fun fact, this is all of our Intimidators in one package. There were 14 Intimidators total, and they were split between 7 Incineroar and 7 Landorus.
I was really hoping there'd be like an off-the-wall, like Gyarados or Arcanine or something, but
something
no.
interesting? No. There was money on the
Tauros, no nothing cool.
There's a lot of money on the line this time, so yeah, I'm not surprised.
Completely understand. Then we'd fall off the side of the cliff and go down to 3.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting that like nothing in between, but at the same time, in a small field like this, it kind of makes sense. I'm not like the top end is all going to be very playable, and then like the bottom end is going to be a little more unique. So. Down here at 3, we have Thundurus, Charizard, Galarian Moltres, Cali Ice, and Kyogre. So that makes up 3. That makes up, let's see, that's 13 of the 16 restricteds right there.
Yep.
Meaning our unique restricteds are Dialga,
Groudon,
and
Reshiram.
Okay, cool. I was going to say, I'm going through the unique mons here that we have pulled up and was trying to find it. You just got to it before me.
I know most of these numbers off the back of my head right now. I just have them all in my head.
Yeah, you've got to deal with numbers all the last couple days, whereas I've got to work. So, and then rounding out the non-unique mons, the repeats, we have 2 Mimikyu and 2 Dusclops as well.
Notably, those are probably the best Trick Room setters in the format right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with you about that.
Like, you could set Trick Room with Cali Ice, but you really would like to just be Dynamaxing and going ham as soon as possible with that instead. So Mimikyu, obviously, with Mental Herb is going to be the best Trick Room setter. Just like there's no Fake Out, there's no Taunt. It's hard to double into a Mimikyu and, like, not lose a Pokemon in return for doing so. So, and then Dusclops, obviously, is just really good with Cali Ice, really bulky. The lack of Dark Urshifu means that Dusclops gets to thrive a little bit more, but I feel like Dusclops is definitely the weaker of the two right now.
It's weird to me that we have a single Urshifu in the entire tournament.
Yeah, it's because
I expected that number to be way higher. So,
Water Urshifu is really bad in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
There was also 0 Colossal played in this event.
Yup.
So when you take away the Pokemon that really likes to play with really likes to play with Water Urshifu, like Colossal, and you just don't see it, there's just no reason to play Water Urshifu.
Like, I mean, there's only one Dark Urshifu, too. So,
Yeah.
like, I expected that number to be higher than what it is. But, you know, that's also coming from the guy who's been playing it since the format started. So,
Yeah.
My thought process might be a little weighted on that one. But, so looking at, like, other Trick Room setters here, you have, there's a Comfey over here.
Yep.
There is a single P2, and there's a single Dialga.
Yep.
So, if I'm doing my math right, that basically is every team. That gives you, like, one... if every team is only playing one of those, it gives you one team with... No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Is that right? 11.
So, 1, 2, 3...
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
9, 10.
9, 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So if there were no repeats, which I know there's actual repeats on teams,
Yeah,
that would be 6 teams without Trick Room. Notably, there's only like one team with like 1 to 2 teams with Tailwind.
That was the next thing I was going to look at. It's just like, how many of these teams are actually going fast? And like, obviously Venusaur counts as like its own thing, but like being able to have forms of speed control that, you know, affect your side. You have Tailwind, you have Trick Room. There's only one Tornadus over here. There's a single Suicune.
Yep.
Which we'll get to. So you can't really count it in this because Evan is a madman. And that's it?
Yeah, that's it for Tailwind setters, yep.
Obviously you have max Airstreams on like Landorus and Charizard and Thundurus and Moltres.
Yep.
You technically can have it on Dragapult as well.
You get it on Celesteela. Kartana gets it.
That's it.
I think that's
like
actually it.
For Mons that commonly have it.
Yep.
Kingdra technically can because it has access to Hurricane.
Yep, which is normal to play on Kingdra too because you want to win those speed ties and things like that. So yeah.
You know, this is going to sound like a hot take, but I don't think you're really worried about Kingdra speed ties in this format.
It's more Kingdra outspeeding like Tailwind, Cali Scar, like Cali Shadow and things like that.
Yeah.
That's where you're worried.
But yeah, so that kind of breaks down each Mon before we actually jump into like the actual teams. Anything you want to comment on before we actually dive a little deeper into these?
There is one Raichu, which is cool. No Gyarados to pair with it, unfortunately.
There's a Kyogre to pair with it, so that's really close.
Yeah. The other big thing was like there's no Regieleki at all. Yeah. There's very little electric types right now. Mainly due to the fact that just like everything's carrying Max Quake again, so it's just bad. So your electric types are either like Raichu or Rotom forms, like Rotom Heat and Rotom Wash here.
I actually hadn't put 2 and 2 together that there's no Eliki here.
Yeah, there's not a single Eliki anywhere on the...
Dude, that's so bizarre.
Isn't it so weird?
I love it. No Urshifu, no Eliki. I love this format.
Okay, so with that, we're just going to leave this screen up as we talk about the bottom 8 teams. So let's see here. First bottom 8 team, I believe... Let's see.
If we're going based on the sheet you gave me, first up would be Swede's team.
This is Swede's team, yeah. So
who threw together his team in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Honestly, there's nothing really too unique about this. Like if you look at the last several series as like a whole and just kind of throw things together, which for a guy who hasn't really played and who knows how long, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
We have Serena here. We have an Ensign, Rotom Wash, Pheromosa, Dusclops, and Cali Ice. Overall, this is a very Swede team. I know this is Cali Ice. I know, like, speed swap Pheromosa next to Cali Ice is something he's loved to do historically.
Yep.
We have Leer on Dusclops and Ally Switch to really just get people. Again, very much a Swede thing. Lear Dusclops, I know, is a big meme that he has had for ever.
It's been a while, yeah. The cool thing here is just like Serena. I know the Serena was Queenly Majesty, being able to stop fake outs, so you get to just do free speed swap stuff if you need to. Make Serena fast. Make something fast under Trick Room so you can outspeed it later. Things like that. The big gimmick though is just like Pheromosa Kali Ice speed swap. That's been the big Swede game plan for a while now.
And honestly, man, it's still really good.
Yeah, it's still really good. It's works.
Really cool, and if people don't anticipate it, you're gonna get got.
Yep. Next team here is the Regigigas, Zacian, Good Stuffs team from Shadow Giraffe.
This team's really cool. There's a lot of moving parts on this team, and I like all of them.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed while I was just playing a lot of laddering, like a lot of ladder showdown here recently, is Regigigas is easily countered by most of the things in the format. Like Zacian plus something faster than Gigas usually is enough to take care of it.
Yeah, I know. This past week for laddering, I think I ran into it twice over the 10 games I played or whatever. And the first time I'm just like, man, I have no idea how to actually beat this. Yeah. And then the second time I'm like, I have an Urshifu. What am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing? Yeah. The team I'm currently playing... So
then I just punched it, and then it was fine.
Yeah, the team I'm currently playing is playing Dragapult and Zacian, so I literally just lead them, because they're going to lead the Gigas Weezing lead almost every time. It's just, like, it's what the team's doing. If you're not doing that, then you're going to lose the game most of the time. And then I either blow up Weezing and make the Gigas super weak, or I am able to take out Gigas with a double up from Zacian plus Dragapult, depending on what's going on. So, this format is fine for Gigas Weezing. I just don't think it's strong enough now as it was way back in Series 8 when the format was still new.
Mm-hmm. I like you said, I think it's fine. I think if you are very skilled as a player, you will have a plan to be able to beat it, and that's just good enough.
Yep.
And I think it's a very much a best of one thing. Going into a tournament like this, I don't know how I feel about it. Obviously the team functions without Regigigas. If you cut those two Mons, the other four are just fine.
Yeah, there's still a mode without Regigigas for this team, playing Galarian Moltres, Venusaur, Torkoal, Zacian. There's a mode there. I honestly like Weezing, just take out Gigas. Just play with Weezing by itself, because Weezing's so good in a format where abilities matter, where people are trying to use Chlorophyll and Solar Power and Swift Swim and things like that. Being able to just turn off an ability is huge.
Oh yeah, being able to if you have Venusaur plus Zacian on the field, and they also have a Venusaur, just swapping out yours for Weezing and just be like, alright, yours is gone now. That's just good enough. Because you still have your +1 off of Intrepid Sword, so then whenever Weezing does go down, it triggers again.
Yep, you just get to do it again. So yeah, it's Gigas is fine. I feel like part of the reason that they've ended up finishing so low is because they were pigeonholed into trying to do Regigigas things in a higher tier event where everyone was pretty much prepared for Regigigas and Colossal.
Which is unfortunate.
Yep.
But, sometimes you make the wrong call on a team. And
it happens.
I've done that many a time with playing Magic over my years of, I thought this deck was insane, and instead it was garbage this weekend.
Yep.
That doesn't mean, set the team down and walk away from it and never look at it again.
Exactly.
It means, we'll try again in the future with it. It'll be okay.
It is not yet time for Regigigas to shine again. Okay. Next here is Sun Trick Room from Six Squirrels.
Yep, that's what I got.
Groudon, Charizard, Venusaur. Obviously, these both are G-Max Pokemon. They are very powerful. Grimmsnarl, Glastrier, Dusclops. So there's a very big. I have a Sunroom mode, I have a Trick Room mode, and I have a Groudon to kind of play in that mode on both ends of the field. We're no investment Groudon, but we're not like min speed Groudon.
I'm curious as to how fast this Venusaur is under Sun.
52.
It's 52 modest, right?
Yeah, it's 52 modest.
Let's see.
So I'm assuming it's just enough to outspeed like Cali Shadow.
52 gets you to 107.
So that doesn't even outspeed Cali Shadow.
Yeah, I think that's
That
just
puts
a
you
little
at
too slow.
214. Yeah, that's just a little too slow in my opinion. You probably
Because Cali Shadow gets to 222,
Yeah.
so you need to be minimum I would be is
you want 112.
90. Yeah, 92 investment.
Yeah, you want to hit that 112 number.
And honestly, in a format where you're anticipating a lot of sun mirrors, legit just max your speed. Just be the fastest thing.
The reason we're not max speed is because of the weakness policy.
Which I understand.
You want to be bulkier, which is fine. But yeah. You also get to underspeed opposing Venusaurs in Trick Room, which is a good thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe hitting that minimum of 112. And maybe they just made a call of there's not going to be Cali Shadow here, so we don't care. At that point, then you want to make sure you outspeed Zacian, right? Now, granted, not every Zacian is going to be max speed. Zacian anymore is only hitting like 197 overall, 192, something like that. Somewhere in that range.
Not all these teams have EVs. I'm over here trying to see how fast all the Venusaurs were. And I think there was only one that I saw that was max speed. I think the next fastest was, I think there's a 220 and then there's a 204.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
There's a couple 204s it looks like.
Those are all standard stuff for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, your speed on your Venusaur is going to vary depending on how your team works. Obviously, if you're playing weakness policy, you need to be bulkier. Even with screens, Venusaur isn't very, very bulky. So you want to make sure you live hits, so you have to put that little bit more investment into HP, put a little more investment into your defenses, so you lose out on some of your speed EVs and things like that. But making sure you hit like certain thresholds is always just a good thing when team building.
And like if you need a fast Gigantamax Pokemon, like Charizard's fine, especially if you can get an Air Slash off and just go +1, and then you're going to be able to really put on some pressure with it. So,
yeah,
honestly, the more I look at this, the more I'm fine with a slower Venusaur, especially since we are weakness policy. Just being able to take hits and then OHKO things back seems fine. I do really like the tech of like weakness policy Giga Drain. I think that's pretty unique and not something you see a ton of. So just being able to maximize the amount of HP you recover is really good.
Yep. This will be our last 16th place team, if I remember correctly.
That sounds correctly.
This is Dan Chunks.
Dan Chunks is the last one, yes.
Yep. Another Cali Ice team. Mimi Rex, super duper popular here. Mimikyu, Calyrex Ice, Rillaboom, Primarina, Incineroar, Sableye. Playing the infamous, here's 2 of the 3 Gen 7 starters, and then we'll just slap Rillaboom on because it's better.
Look, man, it's close enough. I love this Rillaboom set for one. I absolutely love Choice Band Rillaboom just to get people, especially since we're on a Trick Room team, so you can just like priority Grassy Glide people and just actually mess them up.
Bop them.
So good.
Give them a good old bop.
I'm also a big fan of this Sableye set we got going on here.
I don't know how good Disable actually is here.
It's really cute.
I don't think you can disable Dynamax.
I don't think so.
I don't think it. I think it fails when you try to disable a Dynamax Pokemon. So I think I would rather this be like Fake Out.
Dynamax cannot be affected by Disable or Cursed Body.
Yeah.
A Max move or G-Max move can still be used if the base move was disabled prior to Dynamax. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, I don't like Disable.
I like Rain Dance, though. Rain Dance Sableye in a Sun meta is hot.
Yeah, Rain Dance Sableye is pretty good. This also, it plays into your Kali Ice matchup. Kali Ice is weak to fire, so you never want to actually get hit by a full-powered fire attack from a lot of stuff. Again, Mental Herb, Mimikyu. Fairly obvious stuff there.
Rain Dance also then boosts your max
Geyser.
Thank you. I was gonna say Rainfall. I'm like, I know that's not right.
Max Rainfall.
Look, man, it's been a long day. I have an excuse.
Sure. Yeah, this team's super cool. Excuse me. Everything else feels pretty standard.
Yeah. I could see either Life Orb or Assault Vest Primarina, both of which are pretty common depending on the format you've played. Safety Goggles Ensign. I think there was no Amoonguss this weekend, right?
I had 0 Amoonguss.
So it's literally just for Sleep Powder on Venusaurs?
Yeah, which obviously
I mean, honestly, that's just fine still.
Unless you're Evan, that's fine. Poor Evan, man. I watched Evan up until the end, and then I counted out how many sleep powders he missed. It was a decent chunk.
Did he miss 3 of 5 or
3
something
of
absurd?
5.
So crazy, man. This seems cool. I'm a big fan.
Are you talking about Hakeem's?
Dan. Dan.
Oh, Dan's? Okay.
If you want to throw a rental up for me, I'd love to play this team.
Well, there you go.
I want to disable some people.
Obviously, if you want to throw rentals up of any of the invitational teams,
for sure,
we'll find a use for them somewhere.
For sure, throw them up. I will gladly play each and every one of them.
Next up is Kim Nace or Hakeem on Twitter, however you want to, whatever alias you want to use. This is a very interesting team with Sylveon, Galarian Moltres, Porygon 2, Alolan Marowak, Kartana, and Kyogre.
So we don't have attacks, we don't have EVs, we don't have items. I bet I can piece this all together, though.
I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty straightforward to piece together.
I'm going to say this is either Babiri or Bulky Berry Sylveon. Weakness Policy Moltres to pair with it. Obviously Eviolite P2. Obviously Thick Club Marowak. Which means you have your Sash on Kartana because you don't need it on anything else. And then you have Kyogre with probably Mystic Water, and then just, Water Spout people to death.
Mm-hmm. The other option for Kartana, obviously, is Assault Vest, which is much more common with the Dynamax format.
It's still bad. You still die to a ham sandwich.
But pairing that with Rain as well means that you're just going to take hits forever. But yeah, that would be very, very good assumptions on most of these items here. Just looking at what the team is trying to do, knowing enough about VGC to make these assumptions and things like that. I like seeing Alola Marowak, especially since my wife got me a shiny.
Especially paired next to Kyogre.
I'm looking for a reason to use it, and this gives me a reason to use it.
Yeah, this seems sick. I'm a big fan.
Next up, we have the Torkoal team without a Venusaur.
Yes, but instead we have Charizard. What's great is we're Wakanberry Charizard, and there's not a single Eliki in this format.
I know. There's 3 Thundurus, though, so that one does matter. It does matter.
That is accurate, yeah. Thundurus is faster than Charizard, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
By a significant margin.
Yeah, it's 111 versus 100.
So it ends up being 189 max versus 167 max.
Rough.
Yeah. So this team is Thundurus Landorus. This is a very common pairing in Series 8, and I'm not surprised to see it again. It's very, very powerful. does a lot of cool things. Lots of bluffing there too. Like you could usually it's Prankster Thunderous with a normal Landorus. Sometimes it's Defiant, and you can like bait them into switching their Landorus or whatever in ahead of time and just get a boost, and then max and just go to town. So it's kind of cool.
I played against this lead the other day on laddering, and it was Prankster Thunderous and Lumberry Landorus. Mm-hmm. But I led Calyrex. So then they hit themselves in confusion on their first turn of Dynamax.
Goodness.
You want to talk about like getting people? That was a new one and I was all for it. It was like, nice. Gotcha.
Got him. Rounding out the team here, we have the Torkoal and the Charizard. This is like our Sun Core. I would almost call this Hot Dog. This is pretty close to Hot Dog. Hot Dog usually has like a good Firewater Grass Core in here still too. Instead we're playing with Grimmsnarl and Zacian standard.
Look, triple flying types, double fire types, that's close enough to your Firewater Grass Core.
Might as well be, right? Blast Burn, obviously looking to maximize damage on this Charizard here. Mm-hmm. This is like our only real good Dynamax option besides this Thundurus and Landorus.
Like, I mean, you can Dynamax your Torkoal, but like having Yawn Body Press is not the way you want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing it that way. And then I approve of Scary Face Grimmsnarl. Stop playing Thunder Wave. You can't Thunder Wave Thundurus. You can't Thunder Wave Incineroar. Like, you can't Thunder Wave Landorus. Anything that actually matters, you can't Thunder Wave.
But Carl, Scary Face isn't permanent.
That's fine. That's fine.
I honestly see the argument either way. The fact that like Thunder Wave is permanent, but you also have a chance to miss. Scary Face is immediate and get hit most things in the format. There's definitely a give and take on both of them.
So the reason I'm a big proponent of Scary Face is you can Scary Face yourself. There's no downside to hitting yourself with a Scary Face. You can hit your Scary Face and then blow things up under Trick Room.
You're not wrong.
Whereas if you try to do that with Thunder Wave, you either A, miss, or B, you end up being paralyzed, and you get your speed drop, but then you don't get to attack because you're paralyzed.
Just be luckier.
Yeah, no,
that's the clear answer.
I'd rather just take the Scary Face. I even got to watch Evan do it. Evan even saw the line, and he got to do it against the Cali Ice on his Reshiram. It was fantastic. I was like, we stole some tricks for Sun. Awesome. We saw the line. We got him. It was great. The Thundurus has Brick Break, which is super duper cool.
Fantastic for the mirror.
I love that. I love that a lot.
I am a big fan of that as well. No, it doesn't.
Thundurus?
Oh, Thundurus. I'm looking at Grimmsnarl. I'm like, yeah. No, it doesn't. That's Spirit Break. But
no,
I'm dumb.
Thundurus has Brick Break.
Reading is hard.
I could tell.
Listening is even harder, man.
Yep. Yeah, I like Brick Break Thundurus. I like that a lot. Being able to just have a way to get rid of opposing Grimmsnarl screens is just good. Just good, clean things to have. Yeah, the rest of this team feels super duper standard. Really, really good team. Really like that a lot. Next one is Evans, if I'm right.
Yes.
This is cool. This team is really cool. So we have Reshiram, Venusaur, Grimmsnarl, Suicune, Celesteela, and Ditto. I
love it. This is a very Evan team.
Yeah. Evan said this was inspired by his draft league match against Laz, I believe, because Laz did something very, very similar. So what we're doing here is we don't have a Sun Setter for Venusaur, but we can Dynamax Reshiram to get Sun up, so we can do our sleep powder things and whatnot with our Venusaur. We have Ditto to steal opposing restricteds or to do stuff
great.
like that. So that's super duper cool. Unfortunately, everyone played around it really, really well because he was never able to get a optimal switch in. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I was gonna say you got to watch Evan. I unfortunately did not. So
yeah. And then the Celesteela was a physical Celesteela that was getting attack boosts off of its beast boost. Oh, buddy, let me tell you, that was awesome.
That's a new one. I've played against my fair share of Celesteelas, and I think approximately 0 of them have ever been. Oh man, that's sweet.
I'm super surprised that this Grimmsnarl is as standard as it is. I know Evan loves to play with weird Grimmsnarl sets.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Sucker Punch fake out set that was just blowing up opponents with. He was just blowing up Pokemon with them, and it was so great to play it. But I'm a feeling he swapped it out because he just needed the extra bulk against the opposing Sun Mirrors. And I know you want to talk about the Suicune.
Oh, Evan, this Suicune. So we have Icy Wind. Hydro Pump.
Yep.
Snarl. Mirror Coat.
Yep.
And we're Assault Vest.
So, what I think the original plan with this was you take the Vine Lash from Venusaur.
And then bang them back.
And then Mirror Coat it right back and take them out.
Which, dude, I'm all for. That sounds fantastic.
I mean, like, that's a real good answer for, like, an opposing Venusaur. That is a very good answer. It's going to be super effective because Mirror Coat is psychic.
Is that how that works?
Yes.
There's no way that's how that works.
Mirror Coat is a psychic type attack.
Yeah, but it doesn't care about the typing, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I know it's a psychic type attack, so it deals damage. Because it's not, like, it's either typeless or it doesn't steal stab. Like, it does psychic damage. One of the two.
Let's see. Mirror Coat can no longer be copied by Mirror Move. If the Pokemon using Mirror Coat is hit by a special move that deals 0 damage, Mirror Coat becomes a special move with base 1 power.
Neat. I didn't know that.
This isn't anything I care about. Let's read. If the last amount of damage done to the user before the use of Mirror Coat is greater than 0 and was dealt by a special move, Mirror Coat will do twice as much damage as taken by that attack to the opponent. Dark-type Pokemon are immune to Mirror Coat, but otherwise, Mirror Coat's type has no effect on the damage done to the target.
That's weird.
That's so weird.
Like, why make it immune to dark type if it's typeless?
It's not typeless. It just doesn't deal psychic damage.
No, that's exactly what that's saying. It's saying it's typeless. It is saying it is a typeless damage output, so it should hit dark types.
Oh, man.
That makes 0 sense. Come on, Pokemon. I don't know. Come on, Pokemon Company. Get your game figured out here.
Oh, man.
This should either be a psychic move or B, a typeless move that deals damage to dark types.
I don't care which one. Just make one of them happen.
Like, pick one or the other. You can't do both. It's confusing.
You can't drive down the middle of the road. That's
can't play Pac-Man. That's not how this game works. Anywho, I don't think that's enough to take out Venusaur then.
I'm actually curious.
Because a doubled HP Volky Venusaur is going to survive that doubled up hit. That is not going to be enough.
I'm pulling up calcs. Let's see. Import this. We're going to go here. We're going to look up Suicune. Do I have a Venusaur set saved?
I don't know. It's going to... I test do. Max, because max HP is the common one. Like either 150...
This is max HP.
Okay. Like either 156 or 252. Those are the two big ones.
All right, Vine Lash, according to this, is going to do 86% max. This is also off of Modest 128. So, like, take everything I say with a grain of salt here. Which is going to do at most 179 damage. My Venusaur is 374 HP. It's 358, so it's not enough.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like.
So we need
this
to
tech
do.
isn't as good.
So we need to deal 187. So let's see, how much does Venusaur have to do?
Maybe it's like 252 Venusaur.
If we are 252 modest, our max roll is 198. So
That would get you there.
there are 6 rolls that would KO.
That would get you there, yeah.
So 187, it's on 6 out of 16 rolls.
That's not bad.
So
There's a
37 and a half. Yeah, 37% of the time it works every time.
Yeah.
That's also implying their max HP, max special attack modest.
A lot of them are modest, and a lot of them are bulkier HP, but they aren't all max. They aren't all max special attack because they're carrying weakness policy.
Yep.
So it's just like you have to make sure they activate their weakness policy first.
So honestly, this tech isn't as bad as I anticipated. Like let me rephrase it. I think this tech is super, super cool. And it will definitely get people, seeing how you can live a modest modest Vine Lash 100% of the time as long as they don't crit. So,
yeah.
15 out of 16 times. Right? Crits are 1 in 16 now, or are they 1 in 24?
I don't know. I don't do the math on that. That's just RNG, but I don't even do the math on that anymore.
Yep. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
That's also off of Solar Beam. So, is Leaf Storm higher damage?
Leaf Storm's also 120.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's cool. If they're max speed, max special attack, then you get them.
Yeah.
But if they're max speed, max special attack, let's see, if they're timid, then their HP is 310. So let's see, 310.
Don't mind us just doing all these Venusaur calcs.
155. So that would KO all but one roll.
Yeah. And that might have been what Evan calced for. I'm not sure.
Which, dude, if that's the case, that's actually insane.
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. I love it.
But we know that Venusaur is almost never 52 speed like that.
Not anymore, it's not, no.
Yeah, no, they're almost always bulkier. So
overall, though, that's super cool. I love it. Yeah, I'm a fan of this team for sure. Evan, throw me a rental code. Also, Ditto's EVs don't matter except for HP, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm that you can... The rest of the EVs on Ditto literally don't matter.
Yeah.
Cool.
The last team is from Papa Swish. This is a Rain Zacian team with Regirock.
Which, that sounds counterproductive?
So the idea here is you have Regirock to kind of just like beat up other things, but then you also have Rain mode to defeat Sun.
We don't have a Trick Room setter on this team, so like this is just hard mode Regirock.
Yeah. Which
I don't hate it.
Which is fine, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
We also are carrying like Icy Wind and Thunder Wave for speed control.
We also have Ice Punch on Regirock.
Yeah. So we have multiple ways to change the weather, kind of keep it away from being sun. The Zacian has Imprison.
Love it.
Which, with how many
Absolutely
Zacian
love
we
it.
saw, I wonder how many times this actually came up.
I'm very curious.
I think this is the only imprisoned Zacian I've seen that I
It's
know
the
about.
only one I've seen for sure.
Safety Goggles Instant, fairly standard. Citrus Berry Prankster Thunderous, very standard. Weakness Policy Regirock, super standard. Agua Berry Polytoad with Hypnosis. It's a little less standard than what I would call as a counter pick to certain things. I would definitely like to see like Perish Song in that last spot instead, especially since we have Regirock.
I love Hypnosis. 60% of the time, it works every time.
I'd rather just have Perish Song, man.
You're not wrong, but Hypnosis is funnier when it works.
Yeah, I just don't want to play that game. Like, we already talked about Evan missing 3 out of 5 sleep powders. Like,
And that's 75% accurate.
I do
Imagine
not wanna-
hitting a 60% accurate move.
I do not want to play that game at all. And then Kingdra here, Life Orb, Swift Swim. 180 investment is... Oh, goodness.
Looking it up. I'm looking it up.
I know max is 150.
Are we modest?
We're timid.
Okay.
It's like 120, 130?
180 timid?
Yeah. It's like 130? Somewhere in there?
140.
140. Okay.
So we get to 280, which outspeeds
Everything.
No, not all Venus. Well, I guess if you're in rain, you're going to outspeed all Venusaurs anyway. So this outspeeds all Elekis.
Yeah.
Except for Choice Scarf ones.
Which you're not outspeeding Choice Scarf.
No, you're not. You're not going to outspeed.
You're not
Scarf
outspeeding Choice Scarf anything faster than you. Like, it's gonna everything that matters that's faster than you, if it has Choice Scarf, is going to outspeed you. Like Calyrex is going to outspeed you. Regieleki is going to outspeed you with their Scarf. Just you can't beat those anyway. So just play to beat everything else. But yeah, I like the Imprison tech.
Dude, same. I've always really liked it. Are we? How fast are we on Zacian? 100.
100. So 180 gets you to 188 gets you to 192.
I'm looking.
So that's 181 at Jolly. That's Jolly. I was thinking for Adamant. That's Jolly. So that's probably a little bit faster than 181.
199.
Yeah. One of the things, if you're getting that close to 200, you might as well just go to 201.
Yeah.
Outspeed Spectria.
Sure.
Like, outspeed Spectria. Don't get got by Will-O-Wisp. Outspeed Spectria.
Dude, that's a mon I miss. I miss Spectrier a lot. Instead, I've just played its bigger brother.
Yeah, you just play the big brother. You play the horse.
Spectrier with a rider.
Yeah. With the jockey.
Spectrier with a goat.
A horse and a goat.
It's a deadly combination, man.
Okay, so now we're into our top 8.
Yep.
So,
which you have a well put together graphic here, so I'm assuming that's up on screen now.
It definitely is.
Cool. Cool.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 listed here. 5 and 6 are technically the same place. 7 and 8 are technically the same place. The only ones that actually were determined by any kind of anything were 1st through 4th.
Yep.
5th and 6th got knocked out at the same time. 7th and 8th got knocked out at the same time. That's just kind of how double Elim works.
Yeah, there was no tie-breaking match.
I tried to even find like a weird tiebreaker. Yan and Karibo and then Padillac and Purple both won the same amount of games and lost the same amount of games.
So then you're having to go through and count like opponent's match win percentage. And you're like,
it's not worth
I'm good.
It's not worth it.
I'm good.
It ain't going that
higher
far.
seed gets the higher number.
Yeah. So we had 4 Zacians in the top 8. We had the Dialga, we had 2 Kyogre, and we had a Cali Ice. So that's fairly good conversion rate for Zacian,
Mhm.
and a really good conversion rate for like Kyogre and Dialga specifically.
Yeah, Dialga coming all the way up to second is like pretty impressive, seeing how it's the only one in the field. We had, you said, one Cali Ice here, so like, you know,
1 and 3 ain't bad.
yeah, 1 and 3 ain't bad. Two Kyogre out of 3 as well, so like pretty good conversion there. And then 4 out of 7 isn't terrible. So
That's average. That's like the average. It's just like just above
Yep.
half.
Yep,
Cool.
a little above half, and that's good enough. So let's get to it. First up, we have, I'm assuming this is Yawn, right? With Raichu?
Yan? Yeah. Yan is first with this Galarian Moltres Raichu Kyogre team.
Yeah. So what's really cool here is you have Comfey Moltres, which you see that and you go, there's going to be a policy on this Moltres. JK LOL, it's actually down here on Kyogre.
Got him! Yan is always known for coming up with some of the coolest teams we've ever seen. And by far, this is probably one of the best ones.
Dude, this is so cool. There is nothing about this team I don't love.
Since it's best of 3, you only get them once.
Which, once is usually enough.
So it was enough to get him to top 8 for sure, which obviously congrats there. Real cool team building. Being a closed team sheet event really helped him out in this kind of situation.
For sure.
The other cool thing is this Comfey's setting Trick Room. Like, we can set Trick Room with this Comfey.
I believe he said that this is mainly as like counter Trick Room, but at the same time, like the Moltres is really bulky. Like there's a lot of bulk on this team and not like a ton of speed. Obviously, I'm anticipating like max speed Raichu. You probably have a non-zero amount of speed on Kyogre, just so like you're not getting completely blown up before you fire off water spouts.
Mm-hmm.
But also at the same time, I anticipate this Kyogre maxing a lot. Your big max targets here are like Kyogre, Landorus, and Moltres.
Yeah.
Moltres having Nasty Plot and Safety Goggles means that like you line up pretty great against opposing Venusaurs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just like Nasty Plot and do whatever with Comfey, and then the next turn you can Floral Healing, Max, Hurricane them, goodbye.
Yeah.
You also have Raichu here, so like if they do have Eliki on their side, which obviously in this tournament was a non-factor, you have that as a switch in. You have Nuzzle Fake Out here. You have Eerie Impulse for all the Venusaurs running around as well. So like if they lead Torkoal plus Venu, you can switch into Kyogre and then Eerie Impulse their Venusaur, and now it's completely useless.
Yep.
I say before you get a crit and then you're sad. But yeah, this seems super cool. You have Volt Switch, so you can trigger your Kyogre's weakness policy with Raichu as well.
Yep.
Just like the more I look at this team, the more I'm excited to play it in the future.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of our laddering teams for sure. Just because it's going to do so well in Best of One, it's going to make great videos probably.
Yep, I'm very excited for this.
Next up, we have Karibo's team. This is the only Blastoise dog or Blast dog.
Hot take, that name sucks.
Hey, it's one of the best teams on the ladder. I don't care.
I'm not disagreeing, but some of the naming conventions are really just dumb.
Yeah, go talk to Magic if you want to go look at
I was gonna say, this is coming from Magic, where you have Fruit Loops, Cheerios, you have
everything's named after breakfast cereal.
You have Dead Kitty.
Yeah.
Like
So, this one is Zacian Blastoise, Landorus and Thundurus combo here. Again, you get to do a lot of bluffing with this duo just because, like, is it Defiant? Is it Prankster? What we're doing with that. And then Grimmsnarl and Cineroar gets to kind of round out the rest of this team. We have access to Double Intimidate, which is really good in a Zacian format. Things just didn't line up as well for Karibo going into Top Cut as it did on day one, unfortunately. Had Evan hit like one more sleep powder on day one, it'd be Evan in this spot probably, or Evan even up in the top 4 instead of Karibo. So, still, congrats to Karibo. Played a heck of a game. managed to make it. I think managed to drag it out into 3 games going into his first match for day 2. So, congrats to him on that. This Blastoise set is really cool because it's weakness policy.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of them you see are just like Wakanberry, just because Reggie, like he's just like super scary.
But Karibo obviously knew that there wasn't going to be a single Eliki.
Yeah.
So he didn't even have to worry about it.
Fun fact. So, Blastoise naturally will survive hits from 252 Modest Venusaur.
Cool.
So, this is how you activate your policy, and then your Ice Beam on the Crackback takes it out.
Love it.
I'm doing something similar, but I don't have weakness policy on my team that I'm playing with Blastoise right now. I get to survive a couple hits, and then I can just max Hailstorm to 2-shot him.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. However, Karibo obviously gets to do it a little bit more efficiently than I'm doing it and just blow them up in one hit. The Grimmsnarl's very standard. Nothing crazy there. Incineroar, very standard. Same thing with his Thundurus. Same thing with his Landorus. All of these are fairly standard. Yeah, nothing crazy off the wall on this team.
Yeah, I know Karibo grinded a bunch of events to earn enough points to be able to play in this, and so coming in top 8 is pretty fantastic for him, I'm not going to lie. So,
yep.
Going into day 2, I messaged you, I'm like, all right, Karibo is going to be my front runner for today. He's going to make the comeback, and then immediately lost. I'm just like...
immediately goes down.
All right, I'm not going to say anything the rest of the day, so...
Carter's over here jinxing everybody.
Sorry. Because, even going into this, I know I put on Discord, I'm just like, man, I literally can't pick, a favorite for this event because there are so many people who are just so talented and, have grinded forever to be able to earn a spot in this event. It's just, it's really hard to be able to say, all right, this is my favorite.
Yeah.
But, well,
It is what it is.
Yep.
Next up, we have Purple. Purple played another Hot Dog Venusaur Zacian team. This is one of many, as you can see on our nice little graphic here. We have a ton of Torkoal Venusaur in the top 8 here. 4 of them in the top 4. There's not a whole lot of variety outside of that, besides just Grimmsnarl or support Pokemon, Intimidator, Venusaur, Torkoal, and then just random other nonsense. In the case of Purple's team, his random other nonsense is a Hydreigon.
So, I really like Hydreigon. I can't justify it in a field of Zacians.
So the cool thing is a lot of what Hydreigon gets to do here on this team is it's a good sun check. It's a good ground answer, eating Max Quakes, Earthquakes, things like that into your own Zacian, your own Torkoal, things you want to try to avoid. So having access to a second Levitate, Flyer, whatever you want to make it as, is good on a Zacian team. That's why you see Landorus Thundurus a lot, because they're both immune to ground, and they're good switch-ins for Zacian, things like that. I think what caught him off guard here is just the sheer number of ice coverage. Cali Ice was real popular, and that can kind of cause issues. I know Kyogre carries Ice Beam. Again, that can cause issues. Even if you're Assault Vest, that's still a bunch of damage coming off of Kyogre for you.
Yeah, it has a pretty decent special attack last time I checked. So...
and then the big kick in the teeth here is just the sheer number of Grimmsnarl. There's 6 Grimmsnarls in the top 8?
Something like that, yeah.
Every one of them's probably carrying Spirit Break. And you don't have a good move to attack into that Grimmsnarl with.
We have Flash Cannon, right?
No, we're Dark Pulse, Draco Meteor, Earth Power, and Snarl. We have 0 moves to hit an opposing Grimmsnarl really hard with. except for Earth
That's
Power.
really awkward.
So every Grimmsnarl he ran into, he probably had to play super duper cautiously around it, which limits what you want to be able to do with Hydreigon. Now, granted,
especially when you think about like, all right, cool. I'm gonna switch this in. Oh, they set up light screen.
Yeah, like
Oops.
I have Venusaur, Torkoal, Hydreigon. Odds are they're gonna set up light screen this turn. So now my damage is reduced. Oh, now I got hit with the Spirit Break. Ow, I might be dead.
Well, we tried.
Yeah. I did get to see Hydreigon Dynamax one time, so that was cool.
Heck yeah.
I believe it promptly died to a Cali Ice.
That makes sense.
If I remember that correctly. Everything else in this team feels super standard. Again, this is a Leaf Storm, Earth Power, Weather Ball, Protect, Venusaur. No Sleep Powder is kind of interesting. Granted, that usually means that your Life Orb is not weak to policy because you want that extra damage and want to be able to protect yourself from taking a bunch of non-needed damage. Lumberry, Landorus, super standard, Light Clay, Grimmsnarl, Citrus Berry, Torkoal, normal Zacian stuff. Nothing crazy outside of that Hydreigon really to speak of. Moving into 5th here is Padillac. Again, Grimmsnarl, Zacian, standard stuff. Landorus, standard. His spice was this Gastrodon here. Being able to take all the water types attacks away from your Rotom Heat with safety goggles. Unfortunately, I don't think Gastrodon ever panned out really, really well because there just wasn't any real water types to worry about.
That's true. You have a lot more Venusaurs and Torkoals to worry about than like Kyogres.
Yeah.
So, like, trying to, like, looking at the usage stats, which I closed. There we go. Looking at the usage stats, like, the only water types are 3 Kyogre. You have a single Primarina, Rotom, Suicune, Kingdra Politoed, which were together, and then a single Blastoise. So, not a ton, to be 100% honest with you.
Yeah, and like Kyogre...
Not a things that incidentally also run water coverage.
Yeah. Kyogre, you can just bypass it by clicking Water Spout or Origin Pulse, like spread damage or spread damage. And your team isn't terribly weak to water anyway, so like Gastrodon just feels a little weird. The other cool thing about this team is the Dragapult. I really like the Dragapult set.
I do too. I'm a big fan of Dragapult, and I wish it was Sash instead. Just so like you're guaranteed to either outspeed opposing Zacians or live like a hit from them to be able to fire off a Will-O-Wisp into them.
Well, like I mentioned before...
That's my one thing.
Like I mentioned before, most Zacians aren't max speed anymore.
True. I actually think this is the only one in the entire event that is.
Yeah, I think Padillax is the only one that is max speed. A lot of them would rather sacrifice their speed investment for extra bulk rather than a lot of their attack.
Agreed.
So being max speed is cool for this Zacian. I'm not sure what Adamant 252 gets to.
Adamant 252 gets to like 600.
No, it doesn't. Jolly 252 is 220, right?
Yes.
It's it's base 148.
Yep. It's 220 because you're the Cali Shadow Rider I was playing for the last Players Cup was 221 to outspeed opposing Zacians and underspeed opposing Cali Shadows.
Okay.
That's the only reason I ever remember this number.
So
let's see. Zacian gets to 244, Adamant 240. Adamant 252, so You multiply that by 1.5, it's 366. So basically 600, like I said. It's actually closer than I thought it was, to be 100% honest.
The big thing I'm trying to think of is, does your Dragapult outspeed your Zacian?
In what instance?
So you can max Dragapult, max Airstream, so your Zacian will outspeed other max speed Zacians. Or other 252 Adamant Zacians. So the idea is, Karibo did this, and he ended up miscalculating because he thought Thundurus was 115, so he expected to be 1 point slower than his Thundurus. Ended up losing because he was 1 point slower than Tornadus, which heat waved him and knocked him out.
Awkward.
Yeah. So this is the reason why I ask this stuff, is like when you're trying to do your calcs and utilize max Airstream, max Knuckle, and things like that. Keep in mind on your speeds for like your Zacians, because if you're playing a slower Zacian, you get to utilize that a little bit better. You get to do that max Airstream and outspeed stuff on the next turn, or you get to do that max Knuckle and get to +2, or reset your after Intimidate or whatever, things like that. So that's why I was wondering what 252 Adamant Zacian gets to compared to 252 Jolly Dragapult. So if it's somewhat close, maybe you can tweak your max speed on your Zacian just down a little bit, so you get to take advantage of that max Phantasm that came out.
Okay. So 252 Zacian is 200.
Okay. So
yeah, when you were asking it, I was doing the 252 Adamant attack.
No, I was looking for the speed.
Yeah, it's 200.
Okay, cool.
So +1, you get to 3.
So we get to abuse that Dragapult max a little bit better, because we get to do max Airstream outspeed, or max Phantasm defense drop, blow it up, kind of thing like that. Just things to think about when you're playing with Zacian. One of the many things I've learned playing with the Colossal Blastoise Zacian team I'm playing with, just doing calcs and stuff like that, is min-maxing your speed, because speed is really important in that team. You want certain Pokemon to outspeed other Pokemon, but you still want to be able to outspeed like Max Venusaur 252 and Sun with your Colossal, and be able to do this and that.
Do you know if anyone maxed a Grimmsnarl on the weekend? I just love the design of G-Max Grimmsnarl, and I just want to see more of it.
I'm not sure. I saw 2 Dynamax Incineroars, though. I remember seeing those. I remember seeing 2 Dynamax Incineroar.
Man, that's fantastic.
Which one of them is coming up, I feel like. Yeah. Here's one of them, and then there's another one in the top 4 as well.
So this is
4th place team, Dread Mambo. Really had a blast having them over. He came over from London Corver Knights to come play in our events and whatnot. And shout outs to all of them over there for all the fun stuff that they do. We don't get to participate in any of the events because they're in the middle of the week.
Which, you say that, but I have the opportunity to, and I was going to a couple weeks back, and then I believe it was on a Friday, and that's the Friday I got called into work. So I did not get to that weekend, but definitely check them out. They're fantastic people. They run a bunch of weekend events as well.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend them. They are fantastic people,
So back to Dread Mumbo's team. This is a Torn Ogre team, the only Torn Ogre team. Obviously, this is just the best Kyogre team ever because it has Tornadus on it, right? Like, that's how this works.
That makes sense to me.
Tornadus, Life Orb, Hurricane, Heat Wave, Tailwind, Protect. Never have I ever thought that I would see Heat Wave on a Tornadus on a Rain team. But
little did you know you'd see Tornadus next to a Torkoal.
Yeah, like, here's the fun part. We also have Sun. This is very reminiscent of, like, the Dual Weather team from Series 8. That we saw a lot of, like, at the tail end of Series 8. It's like, here's Kyogre, here's Torkoal, here's Venusaur, here's Tornadus, here's some other smatterings of other things, whatever we're comfortable playing at the time. Needed a Lecky check, here's Landorus instead of Incineroar. Like, stuff like that. So we have Koba Berry, G-Max Venu. 204 speed is...
I'm looking.
I looked it up earlier.
I already deleted Venusaur.
204, I think it's like 120 something. Because this is modest. What 204 modest?
204 modest is 126.
Yeah, so that's 252.
Which is faster than everything we care about?
Other than max speed Aleki, yeah, that's faster than everything else.
Which, I mean, is literally not a concern here, so...
I mean, Electroweb, like, it matters in the case of...
I meant in exactly this tournament.
Yeah, like, in this tournament it doesn't matter, but, like, thinking about it out loud, just like, what is this calc for? It's probably just looking to do, like, outspeeding something at +1.
Yep.
Torkoal, fairly standard here. Burning Jealousy, I saw it a lot this tournament, just Burning Jealousy Torkoal, which we talked about, I don't remember when, it was a while back, but we talked about how it's just like, it should be Burning Jealousy. Oh, it was the Reddit review teams. How we wanted Burning Jealousy over, like, Fire Blast or something. Burning Jealousy is really good in a format where Zacian is just everywhere. This is the one Grimmsnarl playing Thunderwave, I think. Over Scary Face, which, to each their own. No Tapu Finis to really worry about, so you could get away with it. But definitely keep an eye out for opposing Tapu Finis if you're playing with this team.
That's not completely accurate. Mocha had T-Wave Grimmsnarl as well.
Did he? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then AV Incineroar.
If I said that's not the only one, would you believe me?
I know it's not, because I saw 2 different Incineroars Dynamax, and I know that they're both here. I know it's both of these. So AV...
yeah, they're actually the exact same.
Yeah.
Moves and everything as well. The difference here is the EV spread.
Yeah. Fake Out, U-Turn, Darkest Flare Blitz. I feel like that's a standard Incineroar set for Assault Vest, especially if you're looking to Dynamax it, like we saw. Max Flutterby, Max Darkness, Max Flare Blitz, stuff like that. I got to enjoy Max Darkness into an Incineroar into Kyogre or Origin Pulse in the Sun, taking out Incineroar. The power of Max moves, man. Oh man, I love this format. This is so much fun. Just getting to mix and match these weird things is so much fun.
Max Ensign is wild.
Otherwise, this team feels fairly solid. Like I said, it's kind of a take on an older archetype from Series 8, so I'm not surprised it did well. Dread Mambo piloted it as good as he could up until into Pocoyo's team, which I think there was a couple RNG based things between their match that ended up determining Poco being the winner, if I remember correctly.
So let's see. Speaking of Dynamax Incineroar.
Yeah, right. Here's another one.
This team is wild.
So this,
just like immediate face value, this team is wild.
Yeah. So Pocoyo's Calyrex Ice team featuring Indeedee female and Mimikyu as like its good ways to do Trick Room things. AV Incineroar, like we mentioned earlier. And then Venusaur, Torkoal doing stuff like that. We are playing Frenzy Plant on our Venusaur instead of Leaf Storm.
Just smack them.
So, like, we get to smack them a little bit harder. But the downside is we only get to like attack every other turn if we need to attack with Grass type moves, which can be a downside.
That's fine. We only need to attack once anyway.
Only need to attack once.
As a man who has played Frenzy Plant Venusaur, the 95 accuracy on it can cost you games.
I mean, yeah. Playing with Hydro Cannon Blastoise, I have seen that a lot as well.
I don't know if you remember, but I think it was the first or second ATX friendly I played. I played Frenzy Plant Venu, and I missed. And then I missed a high horsepower with my Rhyperior. And had either of those hit, I would have won.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I have not played Frenzy Plant Venusaur.
I mean, it's just like dual wing beat. You miss one, you never play it again.
Yep.
Calyrex Ice here was weakness policy. This one has Trick Room. Obviously, it's just so you could do Trick Room shenanigans. We never really got to see it do the double Trick Room thing, but there is the double Trick Room of resetting Trick Room after you take it off with one of them and then resetting it with the other one. Just flipping it back off and on. So that's just something cool to think about. This Mimikyu is fairly interesting the more I look at it, because we have like Safeguard to protect our own stuff from Will-O-Wisp.
We have Safeguard on Mimikyu, but we also have Will-O-Wisp and Sleep Powder on our Venusaur here. So, and we also have Yawn on Torkoal, so just like, we're going to do our thing, and you're going to sit there and watch us.
Yeah, you're not going to get to do anything while we get to do all of our stuff.
It's pretty great, and I'm kind of in love with it.
Yeah. And then Indeedee has safety goggles, so you can redirect all those sleep powders right into your Indeedee and never have to worry about a thing.
Which, dude, that's hot. That is not something I've seen before.
Really?
I don't think I have.
I've done it before, and it is one of the best feelings ever. You would do it on Togekiss too, like safety goggles Togekiss.
That one I remember.
You just redirect it. It's the same thing. Like you just redirect that sleep powder or that spore right into your Indeedee or your Togekiss or whatever redirection you're using, and you just eat it, and nothing's ever going to happen because that's what they're stuck having to do. It's great.
Yeah, this team is super, super cool.
Getting into probably the last super interesting team of the day. This is Alex Quane, however you pronounce their name. Alex123 on the Discord.
I believe it's Quinn.
I'm not sure.
I could be wrong though.
Dialga, Grimmsnarl, Venusaur, Dark Urshifu, Landorus Therian, and Torkoal.
So we got a bunch of things to break down here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
So we have Steel Beam Dialga, like 4 attacks, Life Orb Dialga. Already a huge fan.
Yeah.
We have Copa Venu here with Sleep Powder and Frenzy Plant as well. 92 speed, so we're a little slower, like in terms of Venusaurs.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine. Focus Sash Urshifu, like, I mean, this is the most standard thing on this team.
Yeah.
We have Assault Vest Landorus with Stone Edge being our only physical attack.
I mean, that's fine. If that's what that's what it takes. That's what it takes, man.
So we have Weather Ball, Grass Knot, Earth Power. This is all pretty sweet. We have Yawn, Burning Jealousy, Eruption, Charcoal, Torkoal. And then the part that really makes us all round out, we have Fake Tears Grimmsnarl.
Yeah. We have so many special attackers on the team that Fake Tears Grimmsnarl is just heads and shoulders above everything else you could be doing right now.
Yep.
Who needs screens when they just get blown up, right?
They can't hurt me if they're dead.
Right?
And that is a hell of a mantra to have, man.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It's just like we have Max Steel Spike, we got Max Hailstorm for opposing Venus, we have Max Rockfall for like Incineroars or other fire types. So
or opposing Torkoals.
Like this Dialga is a very good anti-Sunmon in a world where everything has a Venusaur or Torkoal. Pairing that with the Fake Tears Grimmsnarl means that you pick up a lot of KOs pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Same can be said with this Venusaur. I wonder why we're playing Sludge Bomb over like Weather Ball.
Honestly, I think it might just be because we already have Weather Ball and Landorus, and so like having more incidental fire coverage isn't really needed. That's like the only thing I can think of.
The issue I see is you want Weather Ball on your Venusaur to defeat other Venusaurs. That's literally the only reason why you play it. Is you want to have Max Flare to beat up an opposing Venusaur. Because otherwise, it just sits there and walls you all day.
The other thing I can think of is because our team is so primarily special attackers, that getting a Max Ooze boost on to like Dialga, it can just be game winning as well.
Yeah, like that's the other thing I was thinking of. I'm just not sure it's like, if that's worth it, right? Like, Dialga doesn't need a ton of help. Like, and if you're not maxing the Dialga's probably going to go down fairly quickly. Especially since we don't have screens. Like, without screens, that Dialga goes down very fast.
So Dialga, I mean, we have 120 defense, 100 special defense, 100 HP. And, like, I mean, 150 special attack is absolutely huge. And then you put a life orb on top of it. So, like, going to +1 just means you're picking up that many more KOs.
Yeah.
I'm like, thinking about this some. I'm actually curious if, like, +1 life orb Blizzard can KO opposing Venusaurs. I'm really curious how much that can do.
I would be very surprised if it does, since it's spread damage and probably in the sun. So you have to hit it first.
Let's see. We're 252 modest, correct?
We are 236 modest.
236. Okay. Alright. While I run this, you want to talk a little bit more about this?
So let's see here. We have Babiri Berry Grimmsnarl, which is super interesting. Another calc we could probably check is to see if we live a Behemoth Blade from Zacian with that at that HP level. So that'd be kind of cool. I really like this special Landorus. I've thought about doing something similar with my own, but I just can't bring myself to do it because I know that, like, physical Landorus is just better. You're making a face, bud.
Yep, that is a face I made. At +1, we're doing 40 to 47%.
Yeah, it's spread damage, so just like you're not taking out Venusaur anytime soon with that.
Dude, even if we're like Dynamaxed, granted if they are as well, we're only doing 54% with Hailstorm.
Yeah,
that's actually absurd.
So
granted, that's 252 Venusaur, but still.
Like the play against Venusaur isn't to use your own Venusaur at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The play against Venusaur is to fake Tears and Blizzard, or Max Hailstorm. Like, that's what you're doing against opposing Venusaur. The issue is the fact that Venusaur already outspeeds you. So they're going to get that Max Quake off.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to go to +1. So technically now they're at -1, and then your Hailstorm doesn't pick it up.
Yeah, at -1, 252 HP, 0 special defense, it does at most 91.
So then you gotta pray for Hail Chip. Max roll plus Hail Chip.
Which isn't enough, right?
It should just be either just enough or just under enough.
Because Hail Chip is 1/16.
Yeah.
That's not going to be enough.
No.
You're going to... At that point, you're doing at most 97.6.
Okay.
So just short of a KO.
So, interestingly enough, if you don't take out the Venusaur, then it just gets to do the whole thing again and just hit you again. Like, granted, yes, you did take away the weather, but they also can just, like, swap out the Venusaur to save it for another day. Like, they did their job because they probably put you in a decent hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just like, I feel like having an extra answer to beat up Venusaur, having that Weather Ball on yours to where you can kind of either at least match speed or get close to it and be able to max flare them down is just something to think about later on for future building and whatnot.
Oof. That's a lot of damage.
How much we talking here?
252 Life Orb Venu Max Quake does 53% to this Dialga.
And that's Max Dialga?
Mm-hmm.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
That is not pretty at all. Are you ready to talk about the winning team and what will be our laddering team starting tomorrow?
Hit me with it.
Hot dog! Hot dog, dog, diggity dog. This is Charizard, Zacian, Torkoal, Venusaur. Literally just Sun with Zacian on it. Like, let's be honest here.
Sure. Yeah, it's Torkoal, Venu, Charizard, Grimmsnarl here to like have screen support. We have Assault Vest Landers as like another Dynamax target. And then, of course, you have your most busted restricted of all time, Zacian. So, honestly, the mons all are pretty simple. I know Mocha said he was probably going to write up a team report for this. So, like,
cool.
Ping him on Twitter and be like, hey, where's this team report?
Hey, where's my team report?
Read it. But, like, if you look at the specifics, there's actually a lot going on here.
Yeah.
So, 204 Zacian, 204 Adamant Zacian means, like, you're going to be fairly fast. 204 gets you to... what was the...
194, I think, is the number, because 188 is 192.
Okay. So, like, being able to have fast substitute seems pretty okay. Because then, like, you can avoid, like, sleep powders and yawns and everything else that are being thrown at you.
Yeah.
And then, like, you're also immune to Intimidate, which is good. So, like, having fast substitute seems really ideal. There's also, like, obviously, Mimikyu's running around with Will-O-Wisp, so, like, that's another thing you have to be weary of. And then, like, down here on this Landorus, instead of Rock Slide, we have Rock Tomb. So, like, we have a form of speed control there as well.
Yeah.
So we have Max Air on Charizard, we have Thunder Wave on Grimmsnarl, we have Rock Tomb on Landorus, and then we have Sleep Powder and Yawn on Torkoal and Venusaur. So, like, there's a lot of disruption on this team, even if you're not able to outspeed your opponent, which you should be able to based on, like, what form of speed control you need.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to go faster, you can do so. If you need your opponent to go slower,
you can do so.
Deal.
Yep. Like, looking through the rest of this, Weakness Policy Venu obviously is very, very powerful. Again, hits that, whatever that speed stat was at 204. Notable difference between all the other ones, this one's not carrying Earth Power. We get to carry Weather Ball and Sludge Bomb, which I think that's a fine trade-off since we have Scorching Sands and Earthquake to deal with, like, an opposing electric type or an opposing fire type in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Charizard obviously is hitting everything super duper hard with this Life Orb, Solar Power, Blast Burn, Max Wildfire, whatever it is. Like you mentioned, this is a Thunder Wave Grimmsnarl with Light Screen Reflect and Spirit Break. This one's fairly bulky compared to the other ones, so I wonder if there's a special calc for Zacian with that Reflect.
That's actually a curious thing to think about. I'm sure there probably is. Off the top of my head, what that number looks like, though, I'm not sure.
I would assume it's like the 76 Adamant Zacian does like 99.9% with Behemoth Blade or something like that.
Which is not 100.
No, that's exactly it. It's not 100.
And that is honestly the only thing that really matters is it's not a KO. So
it's not a KO. But yeah, this team is. I'm super excited for you to play with this team.
For sure, man.
This team looks great. It'll be nice to play something a little bit more standard, and then get into some of the more cool stuff once we maybe hit Master Ball already.
I don't know what you mean. My team is super standard.
No, I meant like the Dialga team.
Oh, I know.
Like, we built that one with the standard in mind. Like, this one, the team that you played last week was just like, here's Calyrex Shadow, here's Gothitelle, here's Alecki, here's all these hyper offensive things. Go get them.
I'm gonna run you over. And I mean, honestly, man, like, I know we haven't really talked about it today at all because we've been going deep here. That team felt really solid.
Yeah.
Day 2 was a little rough, but, like, Day 1 was absurd. Day 1, I got to do so many cool things that, like, I've never done before, and every single one of them went as perfect as I could possibly expect them to. It's so cool. Like, having Scarf on Calyrex is just, like, no one expects it because you're already fast. It's like Scarf Eliki. It's the same argument there. It's so you can outspeed opposing versions of yourself. So being able to outspeed opposing Calyrex and just blow them up is just so huge. And then Day 1, I got to trick away an Eviolite and then blow up a Porygon. So, like, that was obviously like, insane. And then I immediately Dynamax my Eviolite Cali Shadow. Like, dude, there's just so many small nuances with that team that is just so cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I was checking Twitter. Twitter's blowing up right now because of the Invitational.
I'm not surprised. I've been getting notifications all day.
Yeah, I was just like trying to clear them off my phone so I could actually look at my work schedule because it just got posted and just like, go away. Go away. I've already liked all these. No, I need to worry about it because I need to know when I need to go to bed.
I'm over here checking my fantasy football scores. I'm up by 40 and my opponent only has his kicker left.
You'll be fine. You can stop checking them now.
Yeah, but football, Carl.
Unless your kicker kicks for both Jacksonville and the Bills and played earlier today, I think you're fine. As Carter's over here dying.
Quit making me cough, man. It hurts.
Nah, you're fine.
Oh, I'll be fine. Or I won't be. And then it won't be my problem. I think so, man.
I think we've rambled on about this Invitational enough. I'll be happy that we're taking a break from events for a while.
For sure.
For big events, anyway.
I know you talked about today on Discord, hey, keep your eyes out for some minor things running around just so we have stuff going on. And that's true. We're not going completely dark the next couple months, but definitely through the holidays, we're going to run less things going on. So...
Yeah. It's like college finals and school finals for semester and then family stuff and
obviously holidays and everything else going on in the US.
Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl.
Just minor things.
We get to talk about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl next week, man.
Not next week.
No, this goes up Monday and then we get to get ready for it next week because it comes out the 19th.
Yeah, which is that next Friday, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the episode on the 22nd is when we're going to go in depth.
We won't have enough time to go in depth because we'll be recording on the 18th.
Dang it!
That's why we're just going to do our BDSP primer the week it comes out on the 15th.
But we don't know anything.
Bud, it's Gen 4.
Carl, we don't know anything.
Yeah, we do. We know
These are brand new games. I've never played them before.
No, I've never played them before.
You're right. I own my copy of Platinum. It's literally right there.
Somewhere over there. Like, I've never played them before.
For Diamond and Pearl.
So what we get to do next week is talk about all the fun things that you can do on Diamond and Pearl team building wise and look at that stuff. Talk about some Pokemon we haven't actually, we don't have access to in Sword and Shield, or get access to, hopefully we get access to soon.
I really just want hidden ability starters. I'm very simple to please. I want Iron Fist Infernape.
Fix Empoleon, please.
No.
Give Torterra a better ability, please.
Also no.
Then no hidden abilities.
Okay. If that's the trade-off, then I'm fine.
So yeah, I think next week's gonna be Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl primer stuff. Get you ready to play that for your first time or your 10 millionth time, whichever you're at.
I really just need to know if it's like a 1-to-1 remake and all the levels are gonna be the same for the gym leaders, because I plan on hardcore nuzlocking my first playthrough blind.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be mostly the same.
I don't want to know gym leader teams or anything. I just want to know what level I need to train everything to. That's all I care about.
I'm going to play through it completely blind, enjoy it the first time through. I'm going to miss half the stuff of the game and not know what the heck's going on.
That's fine.
And then my goal is to start speedruns. Because the remakes are always
What copy are you playing?
Huh?
What copy are you going to be playing? Do you know?
I don't know yet. My wife gets to pick which one she wants, and then I get the other one.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing with Tiff. Personally, I kind of want to play through Diamond. There's 3 version exclusives. I do know that. That's already been released.
Yep.
You have your Legendary.
Yep.
And then Diamond has Rampardos and Skunk Tank versus Pearl having Bastiodon, and Perugly.
Okay.
That's your version exclusives.
I would probably like Pearl so I could play with Bastiodon.
See, I'm the complete opposite. I want me some Rampardos.
But like, I'm not gonna care. It's a fossil either way. I get to blow people up with fossil Pokemon. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna run people over with Rampardos.
How soon can I get Almastar?
Post game.
Dang.
If it's 1-to-1, it's post game.
Dang.
Because
No
it's not
Lord
in
Helix.
it's not in the Sinnoh decks.
Dang. What about Anorith and or Lily?
Post game.
Dang it.
The only fossils are
The crappy
your
ones.
armor and it's armor fossil and
I don't know.
skull fossil.
Okay. Like, I don't know. Don't look at me. These are the ones fossils we didn't get.
I was gonna say dome, and I knew that wasn't right.
Yeah, no, that's incorrect.
But I think that's everything, man. I got a whole lot of nothing to ramble about here. So, as always, everyone, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. If you're not listening on YouTube, go check our channel out. We have a bunch of things going on over there.
290 subs. Woo.
Dude, we're so close to 300.
Would love to hit 300 by the end of the year. We just need 10.
Please, if you're not subbed, hit the button. That's all it takes. It makes me happy. It validates me. Yeah. Do it for me. And if you don't like me, do it for Carl. Let's see. Go follow us on Twitter at LR Lessons. Myself at Mr. Missouri 25. Carl is at Musical VGC. You can follow us on Twitch at Mr. Missouri 25 and at Musical. I know for sure I'm going to be doing my first playthrough of Diamond and Pearl on stream. Everything, my first playthrough guaranteed will be done on stream.
Yeah.
So go drop a follow there. If you feel generous, drop a sub. Let's see. There is the community Discord where you can interact with Carl, myself, and everyone else in our community. It's fantastic. That's how you get to play in our invitationals and everything else we have going on, and how you're going to get to play in anything and everything we have coming up over the next couple months as well.
Maybe Gen 4 base Draft League in Sword and Shield. Maybe playing on BDSP a little bit. If it supports double battles, that'd be cool. I don't know. We'll figure stuff out. We'll figure something out.
And, like, if it doesn't, Showdown's always available too.
I don't like playing events on Showdown.
Same. It is super low priority, but obviously I would rather play on cart.
Like, I'll do testing for ladder on stuff before I have it built on my game, but I don't want to play events on Showdown. If we
I've never played like a tournament or anything on there, and I don't want to.
There's no life to it. There's no like actual hard decision making because it's just, oh, I didn't want to do this. Back out, make new decisions. Like they're so quick because you just get to you can just change it to whatever you think is what's going to happen just so fast.
Yep.
Whereas Pokemon is like, you lock it in. Like if you you're done.
You are not saying anything I don't agree with.
Which it feels like it's just better gameplay that way.
And then we have our website where you can go check out our merch page, which is really important because it helps us stay afloat.
Yeah.
Please go check out our merch page. It is actually fantastic. Carl put in a lot of work being able to get everything up and running on it. And the designs are fantastic, and there's, I'm sure, going to be more to come. So
there's currently a generic hoodie in a bunch of different colors. There's a generic t-shirt in a bunch of different colors. It also comes in a long sleeve version in a bunch of different colors.
More importantly, there's coffee mugs.
Yeah, I was about to say there's coffee mugs in black and white. There's a bunch of different stickers for your notebooks, water bottles, whatever you want to stick them on, they'll fit. There's also the invitational shirt. That's up for a limited time only. So go pick that up if you wanted to have a remembrance of the one random Rumble you played in back in the Series 1. Definitely recommend picking that up. We'll probably discount it here soon just so people can get
pick them up
access
if
to
they're
it.
interested. And...
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There's more stuff to come. I'm working on a hat design. Nothing's done yet for that, but we're working on that. Going to get that figured out. Hats are expensive. Let me tell you that.
Dude,
right now.
that's the God's honest truth.
So it costs us money to submit designs. So they have to. So if when you make a design after it gets approved, they have to convert that into an embroidery format.
Oh, okay. For the hats, I thought you meant for everything.
So
I'm like, hold on.
It costs us $5 for every design we want to do.
Gotcha.
So it also all has to be approved. Like there's a big old approval process. There's a third party involved besides Teespring. They send the hats out to somebody. They get them embroidered and send them back here, and then they sell them. So it's it's a whole process. So the hat's going to be a little bit. I wanted to do a beanie, but beanies are only like in US right now.
Awkward.
They won't ship it worldwide right now, which is kind of weird. So we'll probably just look at doing like snapbacks or dad hats, whatever you want to call them, trucker hats, stuff like that. We'll probably look at stuff like that for right now.
I think that's everything.
Anchor support.
Yes. So, if you don't have a Twitch account, which is free, if you don't want to buy merch for whatever reason, you can always, if you're listening on any of the audio platforms, or even on YouTube, there is a link down below you that has a link to our Anchor support. It is one of the easiest ways you can support us. You can pledge anywhere from $1 to $20 a month. Is that right?
It's $1 to $10.
Okay, so $1 to $10 a month, and you set it and forget it, and it really does help us out because it goes to support us, and that money sits there until we need to take it out to do whatever. So it is
like the hats.
Honestly one of the easiest ways to support us, and we greatly appreciate each and every one of you that have gone on to do that for us. So I think that's officially everything.
That is officially it.
Cool. So that is going to be it, everyone. Another fantastic episode in the books, and we will see you next week with some more Littleroot lessons. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.